You better pray to God you are your ancestors. Your ancestors didn't lose battles because they were weak or cowards. Your ancestors lost because they were outnumbered.
We're not our ancestors, but we're Charlie Kirk. No, hear it back. We're not our ancestors, right? But we are Charlie Kirk. And you'll make songs about Charlie Kirk. Are we okay? Are we okay?
Don't mess with us because we're not our ancestors. Don't play around with me. I'm not our ancestors. That slogan, we're not our ancestors, is implying that our ancestors maybe were docile, maybe were weak, maybe were passive. And no, they weren't.
Okay, so this is a picture of my great-great-grandparents, and I always had a feeling that this could be me. And it's not just because of the way she looks, it's just something about her energy, even the way she holds her mouth, the way she carries herself.
We are not our ancestors. Pop quiz. How long was Montgomery bus boycott? 381 days. How old was Martin Luther King when he gave the I Have a Dream speech? 34. How old was Fred Hampton when he was gunned down in his bed in the middle of the night by the FBI next to his pregnant girlfriend? 21.
Hello, my loves, Glenda here. To my young black Americans, everywhere I turn, I keep hearing you say you ain't your ancestors. I'm here to tell you you need to jump on my page and learn your history. Why? You better pray to God you are your ancestors. Your ancestors didn't lose battles because they were weak or cowards. Your ancestors lost because they were outnumbered. Your ancestors lost because white mobs who usually attacked individuals or much smaller groups of black people. Your ancestors lost because when they were winning, police or military joined the fight with the YTs. Your ancestors lost because they could not acquire the same weapons as the police and the military. Your ancestors were fearless fighting machines. They fought valiantly with courage and skill. They were outgunned, outnumbered, and not just fighting racism and hatred of YT neighbors, they also fought the police and the United States military on many occasions. You say you ain't your ancestors? You better hope to God you are. A group of them still will catch one of us alone. They still will take a mob against a small group of us. They still will call the police when they are losing. They still will call the military if the police can't handle us. They will drop a bomb on our entire community. They will drop a bomb on our houses while we are sleeping. And now we live in a time where they don't even have to break a sweat to come after you. They can sit in their home and send a drone to unalive you anytime they want to. This is what your ancestors lived through and fought through. You say you're not your ancestors? You better hope to God you are your ancestors because they were warriors, male and female, because they had to be. Don't believe me? Follow me and actually learn your history. Learn exactly what your ancestors did and who they were. Please follow, like, share, because sharing is caring, and together we can not only learn, we can educate others, because each one can teach one. I love you, baby. Peace.
Let me get
With us because we're not our ancestors. Don't play around with me. I'm not our ancestors. That slogan, we're not our ancestors, is implying that our ancestors maybe were docile, maybe were weak, maybe were passive. And no, they weren't. So to the younger generations who say we're not our ancestors, let's go back. Could you have made it shackled in the bottom of a ship for 2 months coming across an ocean? Could you have survived that? That's not passive and that's not weak people. Could you have worked 16 hours, sun up to sun down, every day of your life and then go home and try to take care of a family? That's not a weak group of people. Could you have stayed here and survived the brutalities of slavery at its worst, at its worst, at its worst, and still produced us, the living generations, who are the beneficiaries of everything that they had to go through. So when we say that phrase, I'm not our ancestors, that's not an African slogan, because Africans and people who are embedded in our history know that we are our ancestors. We are embedded in our ancestors. Our DNA comes from our ancestors, and we run towards our ancestors. We do not run away from our ancestors. So I'm just saying, when you use that slogan, we're not our ancestors, I'm not sure what you're saying, but let me tell you, I am our ancestors, and I'm 100% proud of it, and God bless you.
Okay, so this is a picture of my great great grandparents, and I always had a feeling that this could be me. And it's not just because of the way she looks, it's just something about her energy, even the way she holds her mouth, the way she carries herself. So I thought, let me see something. Oh my God. It also looks like she's wearing a monocle, which is spectacular. Like, what if we are our own ancestors?
We are not our ancestors. Pop quiz. How long was Montgomery bus boycott? 381 days. How old was Martin Luther King when he gave the I Have a Dream speech? 34. How old was Fred Hampton when he was gunned down in his bed in the middle of the night by the FBI next to his pregnant girlfriend? 21. We are not our ancestors is something that I commonly hear peddled around social media and in real life when people are discussing how we in 2025 present day would respond to white supremacy, oppression, segregation, and all of the things in real life in real time. And my response to that is, you are correct. We are not our ancestors, because I don't think that we have a modicum of the strength and resilience that our ancestors had even 50, 60, 70 years ago, right? We can't even boycott Target correctly, right? And the Montgomery bus boycott lasted a year and 16 days. Really think about that. I think that we should really understand what it is we're saying when we say we are not our ancestors. I think that it is a very disrespectful thing to say, and it largely and wholly ignores historical context. Me, sitting right here, a direct descendant of chattel slavery, I can tell you honestly and truthfully that I don't have an ounce of the strength that my ancestors had. I think that we should think about that.
I don't like when y'all sit up here and say we are not our ancestors. You can't even boycott Target, Disney. You're not a part of any grassroots organization. You haven't been to any protests. They made moves. They endured literal violence, and they made moves despite of it. We can't even get off TikTok and go do something real. Talking on TikTok is nice for spreading awareness. That's not going to move the needle at all. You need to get involved in politics. All of y'all don't really do politics. That's why we in this situation. If you actually read about our ancestors and you learned about their struggle and their plight, one, you would respect them because they made it possible for us to be here. Secondly, you would realize how disrespectful you are with your inaction. Nobody cares that you're saying we are not our ancestors, because no, you're not like our ancestors at all. Ain't nobody about it for real. Everybody on the internet, Twitter fingers, just typing.
We're not our ancestors. We're not our ancestors. You're right. We're not our ancestors, because our ancestors actually had to live through segregation, and they actually know the extent of it. Because I don't know why y'all keep saying that. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, our ancestors are the reasons they have the rights to take away in the first place, to be honest with y'all. So I don't know why y'all sitting over here talking like they're weak or something. I don't like the way y'all say that. When y'all say that shit, it sounds like you're calling them weak. These people were getting hung, chewed up by dogs, beat with batons, sprayed down with hoses, shot, murked, strung up, drug out their houses, beat to unalived. Like, we're not our ancestors. It's so disrespectful to say, because our ancestors, our grandparents, actually, guys, know better. They know what's going to happen. We're not talking about restaurants. We're not talking about pools. We're not talking about spaces. We're talking about segregation. Full blown out segregation, guys. No hospitals. No public facilities, transportation. Like, I'm telling y'all that y'all are thinking this is about restaurants. It is not. It is everything. It's going to be everything. Open a history book instead of running your mouths on this goddamn app. Y'all sound slow. What is wrong with y'all? Y'all think that when segregation come back, what? We're just going to be separate but equal? Girl. Y'all think that they're just going to be like, oh yeah, y'all stay over there and we'll stay over here. Yeah. Last time they did that and we got our own stuff and we built our own stuff, they burnt it down. They burnt it down. Covered it with lakes. Stop playing, y'all. Stop playing. Y'all think that they're just going to not be racist? They're going to go full out. They're going to bring back the KKK. I'm telling y'all that y'all are not using y'all's brains. Y'all are just making a quick video for content and y'all are spreading this false propaganda and rhetoric. And it's... Ugh. Our ancestors and our grandparents were not weak. Had it not been for them, this country would have never been built in the first place. Had it not been for them, y'all would have never had no freaking rights in the first place. White women and other minorities as well. LGBTQ as well. And the black people especially. Y'all would have never had none of that. So stop saying you're not our ancestors. You're right, you're not. You're weak. Y'all are weak. Yeah. Shut up.
Hey, beautiful humans. I want us as African Americans to stop saying that we are not our ancestors, because it negates the actual things that our ancestors did to not only survive, but to thrive in a society that would put them at the bottom of a racial caste system. I want us to not ignore the slave boat mutinies. I want us to not ignore the insurrections that were so plentiful that they ended up in the Declaration of Independence. I want us to not ignore how many times Black folks said, absolutely not, and got busy. So we are not our ancestors, you're right, but we are their descendants, and their energy is still with us and in us. And so can we stop downplaying our ancestors as if they were some weak, passive group? They weren't. They were about that life. And we live because they did.
When you hear people say that, that should make you think of your own family history. I have this ancestor that was like my fourth or fifth great-grandfather, was born in 1879, and he died in 1943. And he had to leave the South because he unalived a Klansman. And as has been told to all of us through generations in my family, as soon as that Klansman body hit the dirt after they fought, my grandfather knew the South was no longer his home. Even if it didn't get physical, in that era, it was sure death for standing up for us. In everything you have to imagine that he's seen and he endured throughout his life, his dignity was worth the trials. And as it's been told in my family, once he blocked that first hit, he knew it was me or him, and he chose himself. To make that decision that my great-grand ancestor made is so powerful to me, because it's like, you know, even though you're protecting yourself and you took him out, once you get caught, it's sure death. But at the same time, if you didn't defend yourself against this evil, if he did nothing, it would have been like an eternal death for him. And when it comes to fights, you know, one wrong hit and you out. And it could have been easily, boom, a generation's gone. I don't exist. Because you know damn well they ain't gonna fight fair. And because of my great-great-grandfather, like, so many more generations have come. And as I think about stuff like that, it is never lost on me to think of the ancestors that didn't make it, that did die at the hands of them, how many other future generations were lost. And as it was told, as soon as that Klansman hit the dirt, my family already had my great-great-grandfather on a bus. They dressed him as a woman and he went up north, which is how my family ended up north in Illinois and Wisconsin. So with that being said, when people say I ain't my ancestors, you better hope you have a fourth of the fight, resilience, and cunning.